Somewhere in the Atlantic lies an invisible million-square-mile stretch of water with a terrifying reputation. Over the last few centuries, this single patch of ocean has allegedly swallowed 50 ships and 20 airplanes without leaving a single trace behind. In 1918, the USS Cyclops, a 542-foot Navy cargo ship carrying over 300 men, vanished on its way to Baltimore. It never sent an SOS. Then, in 1945, 5 military torpedo bombers known as Flight 19 disappeared during a routine training run. The flight leader reported his compass malfunctioning and entering mysterious white water before the radios went dead. The Navy immediately scrambled a 13-man rescue plane to find them. That plane vanished too. The official report stated it was as if they had flown to Mars. We have massive steel cargo ships and squadrons of military aircraft completely dropping off the face of the Earth. No distress calls, no oil slicks, and no wreckage. To find out why, we first have to look at where this is happening. The boundaries connect the Florida coast, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. However, the region lacks official recognition from the United States government. Depending on who is telling the story, the exact dimensions differ by as much as 1 million square miles. Despite its cultural weight, the region remains an unofficial designation, with boundaries that shift constantly across historical accounts. The entire concept traces back to a February 1964 issue of Argosy, a pulp fiction magazine. Author Vincent Gaddis took a handful of isolated maritime tragedies, connected the dots, and literally invented the name, the deadly Bermuda Triangle. 10 years later, Charles Berlitz published a book on the subject that sold 20 million copies. He blamed the vanishments on everything from dimensional portals to the lost city of Atlantis and even alien abductions. This was the peak of the Cold War in the space race. Science and technology were rapidly mapping the known world and solving life's mysteries. Society craved an unexplainable, supernatural puzzle that defied the data. Publishers transformed these unrelated accidents into a cohesive, lucrative mystery, capitalizing on a public fascination with the supernatural that science couldn't yet satisfy. This diagram illustrates magnetic declination. Your compass points to the magnetic North Pole, which shifts, rather than the static geographic North Pole. The seam where these two align perfectly is called the agonic line. Historical accounts often cite compasses spinning wildly in the Atlantic, and while the agonic line did once pass directly through the triangle, causing compass variations, it slowly drifts. Today, it sits entirely over the Gulf of Mexico. As for the lack of wreckage, the western edge of the triangle hosts the Gulf Stream. It is a highly turbulent ocean current. It moves up to 5 knots per hour, roughly 300 times faster than the Amazon River. It acts as a massive conveyor belt, rapidly sweeping any debris hundreds of miles away. Furthermore, this exact stretch of water sits squarely in Hurricane Alley. It is subjected to extreme tropical storms and unpredictable rogue waves that can suddenly tower up to 100 feet in height. Recently, researchers found massive craters off the coast of Norway, caused by explosive methane blowouts from the ocean floor. Some scientists tried to link this specific phenomenon to the triangle, but it is a massive stretch attempting to validate a fictional mystery. These shifting magnetic fields, hyper-fast currents, and extreme tropical storms create a naturally treacherous environment that explains the region's history without the need for the paranormal. To accurately measure the true danger of this region, we have to look past the paperbacks and consult the ultimate authority on maritime risk, global shipping data from Lloyd's of London. Over 8,600 vessels navigated the Bermuda Triangle in a single recent year. Out of that massive fleet, only 2 experienced casualties. That represents a casualty rate of 0.02%. The danger of disappearing here is exactly 90 times lower than the global average. The United States Coast Guard and the National Transportation Safety Board confirm this. When ranking the most dangerous ocean regions on the planet, the Bermuda Triangle does not even make the top 10. If an insurance actuary were to evaluate the Bermuda Triangle based on hard data, they would classify it as one of the safest stretches of open ocean on Earth. When we look back at the historical tragedies through this logical lens, the mystery evaporates. Radio transcripts from Flight 19 show the lead pilot simply became disoriented. He ignored established protocols and flew his squadron eastward over the open Atlantic until they ran out of gas. Behind almost every supernatural disappearance in this region lies a much simpler, sadder explanation, a fatal combination of human error and severe weather. The true phenomenon of the Bermuda Triangle is ultimately a lesson in cognitive bias. It proves just how easily a sensationalized story can completely override the boring statistical truth in the human mind.